Men's mental health, breaking the stigma on the shame of not talking about something that's bothering us mentally. We don't have to be super depressed. We don't have to be any of this stuff to be able to talk about mental health. I want to talk about mental health when it comes to men because it's super important to me. I'm going to tell you why it's super important to me. In 2022, there were almost 50,000 suicides in the United States of America, and 79% of those were male. 79% male out of 50,000 suicides. Now, there were an estimated 1.6 million suicide attempts in 2022, and the majority of those were male. We got to talk about it. Got to start talking about men's mental health, and we got to get that number down. We're almost at 80% of all suicides in this country. We have got to talk about this. We've got to get this under control. And the reasons are extremely various. And I'll do another video that breaks down the actual numbers of male suicide and separating the different categories out that the CDC has done. They've done all the data. I've got all my data from the CDC. Please go to the website. You can look it up. This is about suicide prevention. This is about stopping suicide among all people. Of course, this is definitely all about all people, but men specifically, because it is way high. 79%. Come on, guys. We got to start talking. All right. And I'm going to get into that. But why don't we talk? Let's talk about this right here. Where does this shame come from? That we won't talk about what's going on in our heads, what's going on in our hearts, why we need to get these things out, and talk about them to prevent this, because we can get through. Travis Howes, absolutely love Travis. I love what he's doing, and I'll put a link to his page here on YouTube. He was a Marine. He was a firefighter and a police officer, and he tours the country right now helping these first responders and veterans start talking about what's going on. And if you've never been to one of his symposiums, please go. Look him up. You're going to love him. One of the things, why don't we talk about mental health? Why we don't talk about what's bothering us? Because we're taught from the time that we're little boys don't cry. That's it. Boys don't cry. What do we hear growing up? Oh, from the time we were little fellas, we hear, man up, man up. In some cases, that's valid. All right. If you fall down, scrape your leg, that's one thing. Come on, get up, man up. It's just a little scratch. We got to keep going. So, in a lot of the industries that men get into, we do have to be strong. We do have to be tough. But that doesn't mean that we're not bothered mentally, because we are. So, one of the other things that we get told all the time is that we're weak if we do. Oh, man, stop being weak, man. You're being a weak ass. Guys, we got to stop. We got to stop running each other down just because we got something bothering us in our heads or in our hearts. I mean, we got to stop that noise. 79%, remember that number. 79% of all suicides are men. Okay? So we have to stop that. When somebody needs to talk, we need to listen. And we need to stop running them down for it. One of the things going on right now that I have had to learn is, because I was the world's worst for it, is giving my buddies a hard time. Well, now that we're older, things have changed. My buddies don't want me to give them a hard time about different things like that. So I don't. Now I just listen. I get real close. I've lost some friendships over that just because I'm joking around and giving somebody a hard time about something that's deeply personal in their life because I didn't know how to respond. Well, the great thing is you're not supposed to respond. You're just supposed to listen. All right? Try to understand from their standpoint and just listen to them and let them get it out. One of the other things we need to be doing is we need to normalize getting help. Normalize getting help and seek treatment. Okay? We got to start encouraging each other. Hey man, you need to go talk to a doctor. If you've got cancer, if your buddy's got cancer, you're going to tell him to get his ass to the doctor. Well, you need to do the same thing with your buddies that are hurting mentally, they're hurting in the heart. They need to go seek professional help. It might be clinical, it might be situational, but a professional can determine that, and a professional can help. All right. So I'll drink a beer to help things go away. Why don't I take a little bit of antidepressant once a day for 3, 4, 5 weeks to help me get over what I'm going through, right? I mean, come on, it makes sense, and let's start normalizing that. And let's start showing some compassion for each other. Let's start showing some compassion, when it comes to that's these things that we need to do to stop the stigma, to stop the shame on men's mental health and not talking about it. All right. That's just a few of them. I will get more in depth on other videos. It's starting to get a little bit way too long. My next video is going to break down suicide in men and break down all the numbers. So guys, we got to start getting over this. Men's mental health is here now. June 2024 is Men's Mental Health Month. So let's really focus in on this, guys. And I'm going to talk about Grayson Murray on my next video, the PGA golfer who just died by suicide. Top of his game, man. Beautiful fiance, had everything going for him in the world. Dies by suicide. All right. We got to start talking, guys, and we got to start encouraging each other to go seek professional help. Hey, folks, I love you. I'll see you on the next video.